Oh look, I'm filming myself on a camera. Hello me. So as you guys can see from my hands, I've got the keys. We are in our brand new Lego studio. It's a really large, spacious area. I'm gonna show you around properly and we're gonna get started today on building, well, what will turn out to be our Lego city, the Sonic studio and our Lego studio. So as you can see, I have already made a start in the Lego studio. I've built the Billy bookcases. We've got 3 of them on the back wall just here. We've got a whole empty wall here and we've got a table as well as a bunch of tables on the floor which we need to sort out because they're going to be what we use to build our Lego city. Now you will have to ignore the mess down the bottom here. I started bringing a bunch of sets and I think it is the Winter Village that's inside of those boxes just there. And also you're gonna have to completely ignore what's around that corner there. I've made this whole I guess a storage unit. I've kind of put it together with an old filing cabinet and stuff like that. So that is more for personal use behind there for now. So for now, that area will not be touched. That is going to be for personal use, for storage and everything like that. So either way, we've still got a fairly spacious space. I will just show you exactly, just an example, how much space we've got. If I put the camera down just there, right, if I step back over here, you can see I'm in the furthest part of the room right now, and we've got all this space down here, and it goes all the way across down here.
I don't really know what I'm doing, I'm just trying to show you examples of how much space we've got.
But either way, this is gonna be the room which now becomes the center of, I guess it's like the hub for every single sort of video I do, whether it's on this channel or the Sonic channel, or maybe another channel in the future. But yeah, this is where all the magic will happen. And as I was explaining to you guys just before, I have started already with the Bully bookcases. You'll have to ignore my temporary curtain. It is a mess and it's what I use to paint this wall. But yeah, ignore that over there. We have started with the Bully bookcases. I've got them all up on the wall. You can see I've gone for a slightly different design in the middle there, but it will basically be a mixture of sets, Funko Pops, and I want to say Sonic figures, which will go up on this wall here because I will use this as like the backdrop for most of the videos. And then you can see from this wall as well, we've got this whole IKEA, I don't know what sort of unit, it might be a Calyx unit, but we've got 2 of them put together at the bottom there. I've got space and my bag, which I had all my lunch in, but I've got this whole wall here, which we can do plenty of things with. It's also a little bit cut out, so we've got this whole insert frame going across here. And what I was thinking I could do is I'm actually going to reach out to Brickify, which is Ben's Bricks. I know him quite well, but I'm going to try and get some of his display units to basically hang all our Lego cars, the F1 cars. That's going to basically become our, I guess, wall art wall. I won't just use the F1 cars and everything. I'll do the Concorde. We'll try and do things like the Lego art and all of that sort of stuff on that wall over there. But right now it is basically just a mess. I've got my Shin Sonic.
And if you're a fan of the Sonic channel, then you'll know exactly where that's from.
That's from a previous video on AliExpress. Now I'm not too sure what is in here. It might be a May the 4th order from the lego.com. I'm not too certain. This is gonna be handy. We're gonna use that today. That is gonna go up on this wall just here. But either way, there's not too much on display here at the moment. I've got some, I think this is an old Endgame Final Battle set. I think it's a bit broken down and stuff like that, but I do have just some random sets. We've got, you know, both the F1 cars, which I just basically wanted to make as much space as possible. So it's actually nice for once to have an open corridor in our home. So I can finally move everything out of the home. I can finally start bringing proper unboxings, proper videos, which I haven't been able to do for a very long time. Now, one of the things that we do need to sort today is this gigantic pile here of, well, tables. We've got 6 in total. If I lift this one up, you might recognize it straight away, but it is in fact one of the old tables that we used to use back when I lived at my mum's. And yeah, I had a bit more space for our Lego room because of, if you guys didn't realize, now me and Casey live in a 1-bedroom apartment. It's very small. It's probably the size of this room as a whole. So I have absolutely nowhere to do anything like this at home. So this is why we bought the studio. So today's plan is to get the original legs built back on this. We've also got a bunch more legs here, which are going to attach to the new tables, which are down at the bottom here. I have got this other table as well, which I have been using for all these Sonic videos. Now, I'm not sure where this is going to fit because I think the Lego City is best coming across this way. It might work going across that way, but I want that to basically go in front of here. So we've got like a whole table here with a backdrop and everything, but it's basically going to be one of those things where it's basically a trial and error type situation. So I'm going to get started on getting these tables done, and hopefully we can start to get a feel for what this, you know, this studio is going to look like. All right, so the first thing I think I'm going to do is move this table into the corner over here so we can have a bit more space to work with over here for all the table building. And I've realized I need a screwdriver. Ta-da! Right, so I'm debating whether or not to put the thing that I'm gonna put up on the wall first or do this first of all. I do think the tables would be a smart idea. Right, so what I'm actually gonna do is I'm actually gonna open this and show you what is gonna go up on the wall. So I'll show you in a little bit more detail now, but you can see on the wall here, we've got a bunch of, I guess, like little holes where things have been hung up on the wall from before. We do have a plug which is running all the way through to the top there, which could be quite handy, but we've got a bunch of holes and we've got these gigantic like wooden battens, which I don't think are gonna come off anytime soon. So I've actually got a plan for how we're gonna combat that basically. So that is where's it gone? That is where this parcel comes in handy. Let me open it and I'll show you what is inside. Basically, now I got some inspiration from number 1, Brixie, I think it was, and number 2 was Block Party, Kevin. So thank you for the inspiration for this. You actually kind of like saved me a real hassle trying to get all of that off the wall. But what I've bought online is a bunch of sheets, which should basically, if I open one of these up to show you, this should be, well, the answer to our prayers. We open this up and inside it is clouds. So I'm gonna go and put these on the wall. Now I've opened it, I've kind of realized I should probably do this first before I do anything else. So let's find a way to get these up on the wall. But I'm sure you'll be able to see from the video that that will look a lot better than having just, well, holes and white wall. I just had to make a trip to the local hardware store to make sure that we could get something to actually, well, pin up the cloth sheets on the wall. And I went with these. I went for some pins. They're called drawing pins. I got 50 of them. They're not too large, so they should be easy enough just to go into the wall. They're the sort of things which when you're at school you used to tread on or you'd stab your friends with. Bit morbid, isn't it? Either way though, I don't actually have a hammer on me, so the plan's gonna be to hammer it in with the, well, the back end of the screwdriver. So we're gonna give it a go. I think it goes this way round. That works. Ta-da! We have Sky. Well, not the broadband, my version. I'm noticing a problem. Right, let me show you what I mean. Yes, it looks very nice and all, but we're getting an insane amount of what these crease marks going all the way across and down. So I might have to borrow my mum's steamer, but either way, that is pretty, well, it's a little bit wobbly. I don't know. We might straighten up a little bit. I think that one there needs to go down slightly. That one just there needs to go down slightly. I think 2 will be enough for now. I think it works at 2. So I've actually gone a little bit higher than the plug, which wasn't intentional. So I'm gonna jiggle it around and then I'll get back to you when I've managed to do all of this. I'm not gonna lie, but it could take me, well, a few minutes. And just like that, we have clouds. It didn't quite go all the way through to the corner just there, so I'm gonna need to do something about this anyway, because it's quite an ugly little looking like setup anyway. So I wanna get maybe another one or maybe 2 more, and we'll find a way to get them going across this way here and covering that space. I don't really know what I'm gonna do there yet, but yeah, that's something for another day. Either way, we've got our clouds up here. Now it doesn't go all the way to the bottom, but that's not necessarily needed, because once we've got our tables going across, you will see it will basically be Lego here and city behind. So it'll just be a nice little backdrop for the studio. The only thing I've got that is a little bit annoying is the clouds don't really, well, morph together that well. But either way, this is the basic idea of what I needed to do with this for today. And that's the beauty of having a studio. I can always change it whenever I need to. But now I've got these and I need to build them, which I've definitely been procrastinating ever since I got here first thing this morning. So next step is to do the tables, and I'll probably do some sort of time lapse here for you as well. Now I get to go onto the new tables. These tables are so nice and easy because basically you get your table leg and then you get this packet here which comes with the, well, the base and all the screws, and it's really simple. You don't need to read the instructions. So you got your screws, you got your base, and at the top end of here, this just screws, well,
straight into there, nice and like that. And then there's your table leg. And then you just get the screws in. I actually cheat, I only use 3, so I'm not gonna be moving around often, so I won't really need to use all 5 of them and, well, destroy my back and energy even more. So that's how I do the tables. Nice and simple.
And just like that, all the tables are built. And now I'm left with this huge, gigantic pile of rubbish,
Which with the powers of editing, ta-da, it's gone.
Now there's one thing I will say I've already started to notice with the tables just being over here. It does seem to make the room a lot darker. And I also feel like I don't actually have as much space as I thought I would in order to fit the Sonic table. So what I'm gonna do is give it a few like organizational shuffles around, because the tables are gonna come here either way. They're gonna come into this spot here. What I'm gonna do is move them around a little bit and work out what I think will be the best way to display them. All right, so I shuffle them around a little bit, and this is option 1. So we've got the Sonic table just here, and we've got all 6 of the Lego City tables in the corner around here. Now, I'm not too sure if I think this is the best option, because as you can see, there isn't too much space to move around. Once in the future, once I get rid of this stuff, and I make some space with my own personal storage over there, and that's gone, once I get rid of that stuff, this would probably work, but there is space down the side, and you can actually walk around the back here. You know, I'm just about thin enough to fit through that gap there. But the only thing is, there's not too much space for the Sonic stuff. So if I put a chair back there, I don't know where I'm gonna fit cameras, and it will just look a little bit messy with the Lego City going on in the background.
So I do have another scenario, which I'm gonna shuffle it around now and show you guys, which I think, judging off of what I've done today and just brainstorming whilst I've been in here, I think is the better option. But I need you guys to let me know.
Now I'm thinking something a little bit more like this. So a U-shaped style city where I have access from, well, both sides of the table. I have access around the back there, and I can go through the middle just here. Now, the only thing is, it is still extremely tight for the Sonic table. So I'm not too sure what to do. Now I just tried wiggling it around one more time, and I think I might have come up with the answer. And it was quite simple. It was just change the tables round, so they're now what, horizontal rather than vertical? I think that's the correct terminology. So now you can see we've got space for the desk just here, which will be the backdrop for not just the Sonic videos. I should add, it will be the other Lego videos as well with our backdrop just there. We've got the city clouds on the wall, and all the tables are gonna be just around here. I might move them out a little bit more into center, I might move them down a little bit more, but either way, they work perfectly. I have got a little bit of a gap here just to go down here at the moment. Well, you can see with my hand, I'm probably not actually that thin, so I'd need to make a little bit more space either way. This is how we could do it. And I'm thinking if we get a light in the corner there, at the moment I'm just using one of my ring lights, but if we get another light in the corner there, and we'll get a light in the corner here, that'll be enough light, which should hopefully block out this whole darkness which is coming from just the tables being sheltered by the lights above. So that is the plan that I'm thinking for the Lego City, but it means that I need to get a couple more of them to put onto the wall here, I think, to make it a proper scenic display, because right now I'm kind of just displaying nothing with the light, with the, the clouds on the wall. So that needs to change. I need to get a couple more like sheets to go just there and find a way to probably put them up. Knowing my logic, whilst I've got that going there, we'll probably end up actually just using tape to pin, well, a couple more of them up over there. So that is, well, kind of the start of our Lego studio, which will turn into a recording studio just here with Sonic and Lego, with the table for unboxings and whatever else I need, maybe news videos or anything like that. And we've also got the table here to start our Lego City. And don't forget, we've also got this whole display just here with some Calyx shelving, and we're gonna put all the F1 cars and all the Speed Champions cars, race cars, whatever you like, on the wall just there. So this is going to get completely kitted out.
And it's a little bit worrying because it means I am going to end up spending a lot of money on Lego over the coming months.
Now, the one thing I will say to you all very quickly is this is quite a big risk that I'm taking right now. I've not just poured my savings into getting this room, which we're going to create, well, tons of content for years to come in, but I'm also going to keep pouring my savings into building this city for you all and buying all these sets so we can create tons of videos on. So I would really appreciate if you are new around here to drop a like and subscribe so you can stay up to date and you can actually keep up with everything that we are going to do. And I do want to say, you don't have to, of course, but I have restarted the channel memberships. So if you want to get involved in that and support us, you know, a little bit here and there, you don't have to, of course, but it is very much appreciated. And I'm thinking, like I got the other day with our Gloucester Brick Festival, well, brick, which is going to go straight into the Lego City. That is actually going to be one of the first bricks we're going to put into the Lego City. I'm thinking of, for members, doing some sort of reward system where we can, I don't know, add your names into the Lego City somewhere, whether it's we put it on a tile or a brick, and there's a little section maybe within like the theme park where you can have your name written down. So if you do want to get involved and support us a little bit, I do really appreciate it, but of course you don't have to. So I will keep you all up to date with the plans for the channel membership. Now I will have a video coming very soon where I'll go through my entire backlog because I've got so many sets which I haven't built. I've honestly got probably near 40 sets, I'd say, and some of them are very big modulars. I'm talking about the Daily Bugle, which I bought a couple of years ago before it retired. Yeah, we've got plenty of sets, which will definitely, well, very soon fill out these tables. But I do think before we start kitting out the Lego City and start decorating this with our plans and drawing up some ideas of where we're gonna have a theme park, where we're gonna have like a Marvels area, where we could even have a Star Wars section, we could have a beach. Before we start going through all of that, we actually need to start making use of these, well, shelving units and start putting, well, some display sets on the wall here and the wall which is, well, behind you. Because I don't really think there's a point of kitting out a Lego City and making it look all nice on the table when we've got nothing else for the backdrop behind. So the next video will be us collecting all the sets which I have ready to come here. I'm not gonna bring every set, 'cause I'm gonna keep some of them at home, of course, but it will be going through all of that. We've got orders that I need to go through, such as you saw here with my May the 4th box. Yeah, so the next video will be bringing bags load, and I'm talking bags loads of sets all the way to the Lego studio. So that will be coming very, very soon. But either way then, guys, I think I've done enough for today. I've been here for, well, what's the time now? It is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I've been here since about 10:15, so I'm gonna head home. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Welcome to the Lego studio, which you'll see as I document it over the coming months. Everything we're gonna do with this place, it's gonna look very awesome, so make sure you stay around. Like if you're new, subscribe as well. But until next time then, guys, have a great day, and I'll see you all later. Bye, guys.